All right, let's get to what we were doing yesterday. I don't even remember. I just know we have a bit of stuff to do today. Tip of the day: get a gun. Okay. But oh yes, we're working on the silicon factory. Okay. We have a lot of work we are going to be doing today. We may even remodel that. So that's all the things we want to look at today. Before we can get started, I have to take care of something real quick. Alright, so what I need to do is we're gonna go ahead and do I need redstone for this? I fucking need redstone for this, right? Okay, well this needs energy. And that's gonna need cables. Okay. So it's not gonna be hard. It's gonna be easy. We could use some asphalt to like pave the road. Build some bridges and shit. I like this world because we've done so much. This world, we've literally done so much. Oh my gosh. Another question is, do I want to turn this here? I think the answer I'm gonna give is yes. I want to start a turn, kind of. So I'm gonna go like that. I'm just gonna fill it in, and we're gonna turn it towards the other thing. The new factory we're gonna build. So yeah, I can get there fast. Why are we getting radiation? Okay, that would be 2, and then I guess if that's 2, huh? The second it starts turning, it's pain because of how ridiculous it is to figure out. Because you need to keep it having the same kind of shape almost. Yeah, but we're almost there. It's like, what, 6 blocks wide? Pretty sure it's 8. Which is, it's okay. Lot of work to do today. Then I guess now it's back to the 6 times. But it's like, what? I mean, it is actually 8. Yeah, it's actually 8. Fuck. It's supposed to be 8, but I can't count apparently. Well, actually, as long as I do 6 here, and then we can have that section be 4. Who sends message? This section is 4 as well. I just need to do some simple stuff lately, I guess, because this stuff is... We've been doing a lot of complex shit on the moon. It's brain frying shit. So, like, it's important we take a nice little break from all of that brain frying shit to go do shit that's less brain frying. Complex is okay for a little bit, but when you're always doing complex, that is when you have problems. So you need to take a break every now and then and reassess. And this is kind of like a good warm-up, I guess you could say, too. Because we are getting warmed up for the construction project we're doing. Or the major project we're going to be doing today, which is going to be over there. 2. Then this will be 3. Then the next one will be 3. Now it's 7. If I give it one more block, I think. And then give it 3 there. And give it 3 here. There we go. I think I've got the perfect corner, curve, whatever you want to call this. But, yeah, it is good enough. It's satisfactory. We're just gonna build a cross right here, pretty much. But that's gonna be my bridge, so I can get to the other side without falling in the water. Because it's gonna piss me off if I keep falling in water just so I can go work on the new factory for those. And then we're gonna have to actually ask the questions, the hard questions today. What do I fucking need? And I think it's automatic crafters, which, why are we not making those already? Why did we stop making those? What? It's because all of the redstone's on the moon, I think. I think we only have 45 redstone here on Earth, and I think all the rest of the redstone might as well be on the fucking moon. Which is kind of bad, because we need redstone to make red copper. So we definitely need to find a way of getting more redstone. And I don't think we're going to do that on Earth. It's not necessarily something I think I know how to do. Give me these, because I'm going to need those as well. I'm going to go over to this blast furnace and just make more red copper. We do now have enough. Holy shit, we actually have a ton of red copper. Well, that's fine. I didn't need that redstone anyway. Because I'm going to go grab more later in this stream anyway. But primarily, let's get some iron. Yes. Iron. Do we have iron plates too? I believe we do. Kind of. We'll take those. We'll take them and see what we can do. Alright, we're going to make as many... I have so much just random garbage. Find a random garbage box, throw it in. Right here. Random garbage box. Check it out. Random garbage. Copper powder goes in here, technically. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and, wires. 4 stacks of wires. Holy fuck. But we need to make this many motors. The more motors I make, the better. We will be off on those. And then we can start making stainless steel in copious quantities for different new projects we could potentially do for some reason. Well, we could look at that in a bit. Alright, time to start making coils. Or motors. Yeah, coiled motor. Coiled motor. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. This is a lot of 1, 2 counting. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Nice. And with the rest of these, I'm going to be using those for transformer or the yes, it is a transform. No, not a transformer. It is a substation. Yes, these things super good. Trust me. Yeah, definitely super good. Sounds like somebody's playing Halo and their shields are down because of their alarm. It's what I hear. What the fuck? Turn your alarm off, man. Turn it off, guy. Shut him down. Shut him down. Depleted uranium. What the fuck? Completed uranium. Oh, I found my these things. That's one of the components I need. Hey, I saw that we have wood in this box. Which box do we have wood in? Oh, we also have plenty of gravel and sand. Which, when you mix gravel and sand together, you get concrete. You've got concrete. Nice. Where the fuck is my infinite water barrel? Where the fuck is it at? Huh? Oh, is it in the electrolyzer for making oxygen and hydrogen? Ah. That shit's pretty valuable, I'm just gonna say. We have a list of stuff we have to bring to the moon with us, by the way. Just because, the next moon mission we go back, we're gonna go set some shit up. This is for water, right? This is a water barrel. What the fuck? Where the fuck? Do you not have a water barrel there? It's okay. I was like, where the fuck is my food ID? What the... Water. Drink up, please. Hurry. I need to make my substation now. Substation now. Where's my substation building machine, please? Substation time. The substation is a vital part. Oh, fuck. Is a vital... The substation is a part of infrastructure. Boop. Holy shit, what did I do? Shift click that shit? What the fuck? I have 2 substations, and I don't need them. Oh my gosh. I'm still stuck in this fucking hole. Okay. So this can just be tapped off of the current power grid to allow me to produce stupid bullshit and things. So, hit Shift F9. F9. Now this is going to be placed directly outside of the factory. And it's going to be pretty much the primary power source for the factory. Right here. Connection. Just connects right off of that. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, now we just need cables to connect everything. And not just these cables, but like cable blocks, you know what I mean? The cable drum isn't gonna fucking help. But the cable blocks, that's where it's at, man. Also, while we're here, gonna chop down some more of these trees so I can make some more shit. And I'm being very specific which trees don't exist anymore. If you couldn't tell, I don't like the birch ones. Okay, that's a stupid joke, and we shouldn't make jokes like that. Calm down, man. Calm down. But we're gonna make a bunch of crafting tables for this. We're gonna set one up over in this F9, in this corner here. Yeah, it's perfect. And is this gonna be the same one? Yes, it is. Oh shit, we got shit on the other side. Why don't we put it? Why don't we put it on the other side? It makes it more organized. You know what I mean? Look at this. We got a crate full of mercury and dirt. Apparently, I don't know why there's mercury in a crate that's probably just meant for dirt. And it's not even a crate. It's a chest. I brought the vacuum. Good. It's like the one thing I would forget is vacuum tubes. Obviously. Everybody knows I'm gonna forget vacuum tubes or something. That's a good thing to think of, though, is that we could be producing shit here, like those vacuum tubes. Now, the first step is actually to take asbestos and make it into blocks, which you can either do that by melting it down and casting it, or by doing what I'm gonna do, which is once we meet a desired quantity, we shoot it into the machine as fast as we fucking can. So, the way that needs to be done is that it all goes into a... We're gonna have to experiment, actually. Experiment, you know what I mean? Experiment. It's kind of a issue because, you see... The way we could do it is just have one device that stores it and then sends it at the same, once it hits 20. The problem is that we have to send all of the items into one hopper or one into the machine all at once. It has to be in a batch. It can't be, oh, one item at a time. Unless you do it in multiple different ports, but that's not going to fucking work for me. So we're going to do it all at one time. But that's kind of difficult to do. So to do that, we need to use redstone. And somehow, there's like 2 ways I'm thinking of doing it. Like, you know. Hey, fish out of water. Have you tried Greg Tech? Have I tried Greg Tech? Is this a joke? What do you mean? I've played Greg Tech before. Trust me. Trust, bro. Trust. I have played Greg Tech. I wouldn't lie about that anyway. I've played Super Symmetry. Also, Greg Tech 6. I will not play GTNH. Do not ask me to play GTNH. Because I do not support putting magic in tech mods, so... what do we need to do? This thing's still casting out titanium? That's fucking dope. Oh yeah, right. So we need to make it so that we can get a batch of stuff. So we're gonna do vein miner and silk touch, and we're just gonna go find some redstone real quick. It's primarily what I need. So we're gonna go and in the ground start excavating for that. Do we have a mine hole? Because I don't want to go in a cave to find this shit. I don't need to be in a cave right now. We need to just go get that shit. I think this is the best place to start, is in this cave here, because it goes down to like the deepest level. So and then we can once we have 2 stacks of redstone ore, I think we're gonna be good to go for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? Oh shit! It's only 20. 20 you can find redstone still, but I'm gonna go down to 12, and then we're just gonna start digging because I don't mine on 12 often enough apparently, and I didn't bring torches, so we're pretty much screwed if we need to see anything. Yeah, aluminum. I don't fucking need that shit. Ooh, look, iron. Cool. It's gonna be all the shit I don't need, man. All the shit I don't need. Thorium. Okay. Fucking dope. Oh, we keep finding torches. I guess I didn't need to bring torches anyway. I kind of need coal so I can make torches, you know what I mean? That'd be pretty awesome too. Give me this. Thank you. Or we could just go back to the moon and grab redstone there. That'd be the smart idea, you know what I mean? Ah, here we go. Vein miner and fortune 5, please. Now I have my coal so I can make torches. And I'm just gonna make 64 sticks because fuck that wood. I don't need it. Now I have my torches. I'm good to go. Oh my gosh. Just stop mining random shit I don't need. There we go. Finally found something. Good. Really, I don't need the stone. I need the dirt more than stone. Because the next... one of the tasks I have after we start processing that is to start filling shit in with dirt. It's not just... Look, it's not just I'm going to build this factory, but I'm also trying to get stuff done that to make the world kind of more complete. Because when we left for the moon, apparently we didn't fill in shit that's supposed to be filled in. So I just left more work for myself, you know what I mean? But there's just so little... This seed is just so weird. Oh my goodness. Holy shit, guys. What the fuck? This is why I should be mining more often, dude. Let's go to the top. Let's figure it out, guys. Let's get the fuck out of this hole. What the hell? This is beautiful. But not as beautiful as what I just found. Oh, look, there's diamonds. What the? This has all been hidden from me. It's been hiding in plain sight, guys. Rare earth, diamonds, all this good shit just hiding right in plain sight. Let's go ahead and just start building up with this dirt. This is why the dirt's important. It's for filling shit in. Or building a giant pillar. I don't usually carry dirt with me though. That's the thing. Okay, now if I start digging with this thing, I won't accidentally vein mine all that fucking marble. And we're not building another soy jack, so I don't need that shit. What is this? Oh. Torch? Cool. Oh shit. Almost mined it again. Get me out of this hole. Oh shit, my face. There we go. I've wow, that's surprising. It's right underneath my toes the whole entire time. What the fuck have we been doing this entire time? We haven't even done that much mining. We've just been sitting around twiddling our foot. Well, we've done a lot of mining. It's just we haven't mined around our base. Like, I haven't dug a hole under our base and been like, what the fuck is this shit? I didn't know this existed until today. Well, congratulations, guys. We just found some new shit. That's pretty awesome. I'm just going to dump off all my random garbage that I don't need right now in here. So that way later, I can just grab it and pick it up and go. All this random garbage and shit I don't need, I'm gonna just leave right here. Okay, dirt's gonna stay in there. Because we have to go back down anyway. Alright then, let's grab one other thing before we go, which is in one of these boxes. Is it in this one? Is it in this one? I could swear it's in this one. Or what the fuck? Give me that shit. Why are we just leaving random materials sitting around? This is valuable shit. You know how much steel that is? It's like 3 times as much steel as ore. Okay, so if we now have 3 times as much steel as ore, we can just place it in here. Boom. Nice. Well, let's go back to that hole and figure out what the heck is in that little key now that this is like the 3rd one we found, and the first one we haven't accidentally done something stupid to that's destroyed it. So. Oh, ew, my inventory's clogged. Disgusting. Oh, nice. What is this shit? That's actually sad. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm just gonna walk away. Okay, well, we found some sad shit. That's okay. I'm not finding anything. Yeah, I'm not finding anything. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not finding anything. We could go back into that ravine, but I don't think there's a lot of redstone. I just think this world's pretty devoid of redstone, honestly. I think that's what it boils down to. There's like 0 redstone for any distance. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Some redstone. Finally. Took how long? 6 years? Holy shit. What's in this direction? Hopefully something good. Something good, please. Oh, I did find diamonds. That's pretty good. We're just gonna start shooting caves off of this. Oh, what the fuck? Oops. My bad, guys. Oops. My bad, guys. Ah, look at this. More zinc. It's clear to me that we need more zinc, guys. It's good for your health. Or something. Rare earths. That is valuable material right there. Grab that, son. Grab that. Grab that shit. Imagine we have, like, just loads of redstone and I just don't know where the fuck it's at. I think there's some in this, some in this direction. Yeah, there's some of that, but that's not what I'm looking for. That is not what I'm looking for. Here we go. Found another patch. Just keep digging until we have 2 stacks of redstone, right? Oh, another one. We're getting pretty lucky on this path. I think we're gonna stick to it. Oops, I did not mean to do that shit. Just click one time and the block instantly goes away. It's like creative mode almost. At least when I'm using the Terra drill. And then I'm just getting gravel in return. Nice. It's even faster than creative. Even though we one-shot mine shit, it's like... you can technically hold down and it mines faster. In previous playthroughs, I would say all of this gravel and shit is like the most valuable things we're digging out of the planet. Because we would take this and we'd process it up in a facility to make clay and shit. Clay and concrete. 2 of the biggest materials that you can technically automate. I haven't done it yet though, to make clay. I should totally do it because it's a valuable building material. At least on Earth. And in space, it's an asset that is unobtainable. There's like, the way I describe like everything is that there's 2 types of things in the world. There's dynamic or rigid. And like the difference is that dynamic is ever changing, but rigid is just a solid statement. Something that is rigid or Boolean, if you were to put it in computer terms, is like it's either is or isn't. But then something that's dynamic can be in between. It's almost analog. It's almost a difference between a binary and analog system, or analog and binary system. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of what I've been reading lately is just kind of philosophy, or like people thinking of stuff and pondering ideas. So, and I've just been kind of reading, and what I've been reading about is more about like humanity's dynamic nature, kind of. Pretty much, humans are dynamic, and thus we do things dynamically. So we react, we predict, we think. That is the analog nature of the planet, pretty much, if you were to say that. It's the dynamic nature. I like to call it just dynamics. Human dynamics. The humanity is spontaneous sometimes, sometimes not. Sometimes it's predictable. It's just something that is ever flowing, and you can't predict unless somebody were to say to you, hey, this is what I'm thinking. You couldn't think of what somebody else is thinking unless they told you what they're thinking, which is dynamic. If you were to say, oh, I think you're thinking this, but then they can tell you, no, I'm actually thinking about this right now. And that is the dynamic nature of humanity, which applies to like everything. Every facet of human life and nature and everything is dynamic. It even goes into war. And war is just the product of, in my opinion, the nature of war is a product of human dynamics. Which is what I've been reading about, is that I've just been reading about the nature of war pretty much, and military theory and stuff. So, but the nature of war like, so Sun Tzu says in The Art of War that the nature of war is of vital importance to the state, which is true, but that doesn't really sum up what he means. But I guess if you were to actually extrapolate from that, he means that the state is the driving factor behind war, which is true in all cases, is that it's a state goal to conduct war. But then why is it that goal to conduct war from the state? And Clausewitz says that it's to, or somebody, well, actually, I think it's Marx, I don't remember, but somebody says that it is to exercise one's will over another. I don't think that was Clausewitz, I think that was Marx. I think Marx said that. And then, see, that's the nature of war, is that, well, Marx says it's greed. But somebody else says it's to exercise one's country's will over another, and so on and so forth. Everybody has their own idea, but my idea is that it's every idea that you could list that everybody else has already thought of, but it's the dynamic nature of humanity that drives it. It's not that those are just like, you could say those are just the idea, like those are just one part of the dynamic nature of humanity. And if you were to sum that all up and put it all into one thing, dynamic nature of humanity, it's unpredictable and ever-changing with time. That is why. But then the question is, why does war never change that much? Because war always retains the same fundamentals and aspects in its conduct and such. Which, it's not just like a Fallout quote, it's literally what it is. It's like, you can go read Sun Tzu's Art of War, and you can see that nothing's changed in its fundamental conduct from what he states, and stuff along those lines. And in his book, he talks on, or in his treatise, he talks on how to conduct discipline, how to conduct all of the things that you would need to actually create a good force. But it's not enough to just read Art of War without understanding what it means, even. Because you can read the book and just take it for face value. You can read the book and try to think of quotes, but if you don't have a solid understanding of what he's talking about when he goes into terrain, or what he's actually meaning when he goes into that, because terrain applies to fields of fire, terrain applies to, like, all of these different aspects of war and its conduct, and the management of your men, and how to treat people correctly to get them to fight. In one section that I read yesterday, he was talking about how if you don't get, and this is going to be my own words, but like, if you don't win the hearts of your men, then when you apply discipline, you won't win the hearts of your men. And that's bad. But if you win the hearts of your men and you don't apply discipline, then that's also bad. So, like, he talks about stuff like that. It's something I always say. But I also like to say that the word discipline has lost meaning in time. It's become more of, this is the right answer to things, whereas it's all about doing the right thing. But it's not necessarily about that, or correcting somebody, or I believe it's more of a discipline of science, or like you could say chemistry is my discipline of science, and that's what I believe it is. It's not just, well, in that section when he's talking about discipline, it's actually just he says the word punish. So it's not, he's not saying if you punish, if he's saying, what he's saying is basically, if you punish your guys but don't win their hearts first, it's bad. And if you punish your guys without winning their hearts, that's how you lose. But I like that section because When, in my mind, it's that there is a certain limit to like what you can reasonably do, but then lose your men. If you are harsh with them too much, it's bad. But if you are not harsh enough, it's bad, and you lose control because they become useless, is what he says. And I can see that too. That's a true fact, is that people who do not get that are not useful. And I don't have to look far to see where that even is. And besides that, I mean, he talks about in one section he talks how war is like water, or one section he references, or he says, war is like a torrent. Its rush can even move stones along its path. And then, what was that? What else? That's pretty close to the words he used. I don't know if that's word for word, but... And decision is like the swoop of a falcon. Which I'm literally quoting this from memory, so it may not be correct, but... What the fuck? And decisions like the swoop of a falcon, I don't know, don't remember, but you should be terrible in your onset and swift, and prompt in your decision, is what he says. That is pretty close to word for word, like 99% accuracy there. But the rest of that I don't know. You should be, like, in other words, you can apply that knowledge to anything. You could take Art of War and say, well, if I want to be better at talking to people or interacting with people, then I need to be, as a torrent, I need to be swift in my onset and prompt in my decision. I shouldn't say between each sentence or things like that. The Art of War is a very useful book, and you can find the meanings in it in different ways. You could be like, well, he's not talking about war, he's talking about basketball or football, or he's talking about business, or in some cases you could say people management or stuff like that. Like, but those are other aspects. It is a book of war, but it is not just a book of war. It's a book that you can gain wisdom from. It's as the Bible is, but not religious. It could be religious, though. You could say, oh, Art of War, that's my religion. The Art of War is of vital importance to the state. And then he lists the 7 key things. The first section is called planning. And planning goes over a lot of stuff. It goes over, or laying plans, and it's all about a lot of things. Now, another book I've been reading is it's by Colonel Charles S. Oliviero, and it's a pretty good book about military theory. In the first section, it's about military theory. In the second section, I think he dives deeper into like the tactical stuff, which is what I'm reading it for. I don't know. I don't remember what he said, but pretty much in his book, he laid out what the sections are. Each section, I'll get to it when I get there, but mainly the first section is just about military theory and understanding the nature of war, which is kind of like, I've just summed it down to human dynamics. And I think his book says kind of the same idea, is that it's the human nature of it. But he says it's important to understand why, or like the nature of it, because it allows you to conduct war better. Well, maybe not in those words, but it basically means that if you understand it, then you're going to be able to make better decisions as a leader, which is important, in my opinion. Because making better decisions is the key to not losing guys, because you don't want to lose guys. You don't want to lose. You lose guys, and it's sad. But, it's more than sad. It's catastrophic in some cases, because you need more men to win. Other things I've been reading about is like 4th generation warfare and shit, which is pretty much just guerrilla warfare, but like it's in like it's like the Russian Revolution pretty much, where it's probably I should probably stop reading about that, but it's interesting to understand it because you learn a little bit about how guerrilla warfare is conducted, where you can send guys to another country and then they go and dismantle that country from the inside, where you can take not necessarily beat them in armed battle, but, and this is as Sun Tzu says, it's best to beat your enemy before you get to the battlefield, to defeat your enemy without fighting, you know? So it's kind of that, where you just go and you'll send guys over, and they go and dismantle either via 2 different means. This is kind of like an unconventional warfare thing, but you either you just like politically destroy them, B, psychologically destroy them, or C, well, this is more than 2 means, but this is pretty much like every way it is. Pretty much you can politically destroy somebody by putting somebody in power, pretty much. By, like, getting somebody you want in charge can be one way of doing it. But there's another way to do it, which is to pretty much delegitimize or divide. You can divide people, and that is a way of... The best way to dismantle somebody is to divide them. Because once they're divided, then they are weak, which is historically true, and I think, well, I know this for a fact, but there was a political kind of, political imagery from, like, the Revolutionary War of a snake, and it says, and it's by Benjamin Franklin, and it says on it, or, like it's every state, and then it's, or every colony, and, it's divided or united... Some shit about that, being united. But pretty much, if you're divided, you're weak. But if you're together, you're strong. It's a human aspect. And so, when you have... You can divide up somebody to weaken them. And Sun Tzu says that to take a larger army, divide him whole. Or divide him in half. If we are outnumbered... Twice our size, divide his numbers. Russian tactics, or Russian strategy, is to attack on multiple fronts and divide. So division is clearly an answer to warfare. But also, if you can divide somebody politically, that's also a genius strategy in the long run, because it's attacking without even attacking. It's literally... taking 2 groups of people, putting them against each other, so your third group is in the correct position. Which is historically something that has happened in other places. And it's kind of interesting to look at how it is here, where all parties are like, there's parties. And even like John Adams warned about how you shouldn't, like, we shouldn't have political parties, or like, I don't remember, it was one of the founding fathers, but they warned about not having political parties, and that, or I think it was George Washington. I don't know. I know this was one of them who said this. It doesn't matter if who it was, all that matters is that it actually was said by somebody way back in the day. We should not have political parties. But I digress. This is out of the scope, because I don't care about politics necessarily. What I care about is winning, and so that's why I'm learning to win. But basically, you divide up a nation by, or a group of people, or something like that by giving them differing beliefs, differing ideas. And it's something in the United States that's very prevalent. People hate each other because everybody's different. And it's so different that it's the problem. But at the same time, that differentiation is important. Like, having different groups of people allows for better ideas. However, when it comes to conflict, it's bad to have such a vast difference in all of the cultures and things, because then you're divided. It's kind of bad. However, it's good in the sense of scientifically you gain the capabilities to advance much faster because of all those cultural melting pot. But that is all, like, kind of interesting, is that when you have so many different cultures and things that are all working together, but then you try to divide them apart, it makes it way easier to divide them all apart. And that's one of the ideas of fourth generation warfare, is to pretty much divide your enemy. And like I've mentioned, it's kind of this thing that's been talked about since the beginning of time, is dividing your enemy. Like I mentioned, everybody's thought about it since the beginning of time. Divide your enemy. So that's like how you would do it. You could divide your enemy politically, and then from there, it's yeah, you've pretty much won by that point. Because once they're divided politically, how are they going to mobilize enough forces to take out whatever third party wants to do it, you know? Or is dividing them. So that's why that is how it is. What other things did I say? Like, that's unconventional warfare, too. It's like, unconventional warfare falls into the aspect of... Now, there's two types of action, right? Two types of action. So if you have military action and non-military action, which non-military action would be to divide them politically, but military action would be to, like, actually engage them in battle, or, like, to send specialized groups, like special operations guys, and have them divided that way. Like, send those guys in, and they will make the third party. That is the military action to get to where you have divided the third party, and you've created the third party, and you've divided them. So to do the division part, you send in guys who understand how to divide people politically. To do the actual groundwork, you send in your special operations. And so the way that it works is those guys will then teach and educate the locals who are in a third party, who are discontent. This is the party that you want in, right? So, like, if you've divided them and created three parties, so, like, you could say, we're going to put this guy into power because we want him in power. So we're going to make him into a third party, and then we're going to teach these guys how to do this shit. So that way, when we go to fight, he has this army that doesn't exist on paper, but is a real thing that's been assembled by these guys who have pretty much figured out how to do that. Well, they didn't figure out how to do it. They were trained to do it. They were trained to go teach and educate. This is kind of what happens in a lot of historical cases. Like, you can look back to, like, the 1960s and see, like, a lot of different people trying to put people into... Well, the United States specifically tries to put people into power a lot. And then it goes wrong usually. But, either by supplying aid or, like, those are your other non-military means of warfare, is to supply aid to somebody. Like, you give them weapons and shit. And there's a Russian major who says in the modern time period that you should do 1 to 4 or no, 4-to-1 non-military action to military action, which is to say that you don't do as much fighting and you do more of that political side of things where you politically disassemble your opponent. But in military theory, like, this is like all super valuable information. Because you know this, and then you have a lot of capabilities. Knowledge is the most scariest thing to a lot of people. So that's why I like to have a lot of knowledge, because I'm terrifying to most people. People will go, and well, to certain people I would be terrifying because of all of the knowledge I have. It makes me a very powerful piece of a puzzle. But I am not even in that puzzle piece yet. Nobody has noticed that I have such knowledge. And once they put me to use, they'll be amazing. But I do not expect that anytime soon. People will just be like, "Oh, what are you reading today?" "Oh, I'm reading this book by Colonel Charles S. Oliviero." "Oh, okay, cool. What is it about?" And then I can give them a brief summary of, "Oh, it's about military theory." "Oh, okay." Nobody will notice. Doesn't matter, like, really, what I do. Just nobody cares. They're like, "Oh man." So I'm not able to actually do anything with all of my knowledge. That's the thing, is that I have all this knowledge that I'm just accumulating right now and just studying and studying and studying. But nobody actually notices this shit. Like, oh hey, well some people do notice it. Some people are like, "Hey, you should read this," and "Hey, you should read that." And to the one guy who does that, thank you so much, because that is good shit for my reading list. But I'm mainly focused on learning higher level military theory and shit. Not just about tactics or leadership, it's about a lot of things. And I still don't understand some concepts of leadership. Sun Tzu, in his book, which I've already read all of it multiple times, but he describes how a leader, well, not necessarily doesn't say it as a leader, but he says, I could just grab his book right now, man. It's in Laying Plans, but he describes something interesting. Hold on. The moral law causes people to be in complete accord with their rulers so that they will follow him regardless of their lives. Which I like that section, because to me that just means that, oh, hello. But to me, it means that if you're a good leader and you have the moral law, which I guess I didn't really notice the moral law part of it, but I really more noticed that it's a good leader is somebody who you could follow off a cliff, is what I like to say. Like, if I could follow a guy off a cliff, he must be doing something right, because I could literally charge to my death for that guy, right? But he says, I guess the moral law would be like the tool that you use to get people to follow you off the cliff. But there's two ways of seeing this. And one is that the moral law is not necessarily like the law per se, but it is that you treat your guys morally with good morals. And that's the way I would see it, is that treating your guys with good morals is the way you do it. No, I'm already in the military. I just read this shit for fun, and read a lot of books. But oh, I can't focus. I was just doing that because I was mining. I was just talking to cover the emptiness. But I know a lot of stuff, and I've just recently started reading a lot of military books. A lot more than I was. So not just like reading about how to do this specific type of attack or how to do this ambush. But reading like really good overarching things. Well, it's gonna surprise you, but private first class, and that is, I don't know if I should say, but as of September. Because that was my year of service, first year of service. So it's a pretty low rank, but to be reading such things at a low rank is good. Because understanding more than you need to is good. It's valuable, but I don't know. People see me read, but they don't do anything with that information. There's a lot to it. Sometimes it really sucks. I'm gonna be honest. It really sucks because it's a lot of stupidity and nonsense. But I believe that I can derive or say that it derives from just poor leadership, maybe? Not necessarily. It's hard to explain necessarily, but they kind of pat themselves on their back almost. It's that's why I don't like to say it, because some of my friends watch these videos, so I don't like to share a whole lot of information like that, because it's you know, it's kind of a like, but if I'm gonna be honest, it is definitely down to poor leadership at the most important level, which that doesn't mean, oh, it's poor leadership at the highest level, but it's kind of the leaders at the level directly above. Like, the guys are not that great. What I mean is that they don't necessarily understand a lot of the important principles, or they don't follow the creeds or stuff like that. They don't follow the values that they're supposed to follow, some of them. That's what I sum it down to. But that's why I care, because when it's my turn to do that, I will have the tools and knowledge I need to do better. I hope you become one of the leaders and I can improve it. Well, I got a lot of learning to do, though. I have to read, if I want to become a leader, I'm going to have to read a bunch of these different things. But I have such a long reading list as it is, because I've barely read anything. Like, I know a lot from what I've read, but I haven't read a lot. Okay, all my hydrogen peroxide's gone. I haven't read a lot of the stuff I want to read. Like, I want to read Clausewitz, and I want to read all of these different, there's different tactical books and things. I even just made my reading list even longer, too. I can't even name half the books on there. It's a lot. But I want to read a bunch of that. But at the same time, I've also got to start reading, like, doctrines and different manuals that are important to know, because that all becomes important so I could actually go become a leader. Is you have to understand all these different things, because there's a bunch of different resources a leader needs to be able to provide to his men. Not just, like, I don't know the words, but you don't just provide them with knowledge of tactics or with discipline, but you have to be able to provide more than that. Like, you have to know rules, regulations, and everything, so that way you can provide them that discipline. It's kind of a lot. So, there's that. However, I mean, I'm ready for that when that comes. I don't even know. They don't even see me as even having the potential, probably, to do that. It's kind of, they see me read, but I don't think they understand it yet, because I'm reading to understand leadership and its qualities, and also understand tactics and their qualities. Just waiting on this redstone to go through the setup. Where are we waiting on peroxide? What's going on here? Where's all my peroxide going? Oh, okay. Well, we'll just wait a little bit. And I mean, I know a lot of stuff. Well, I gotta go now. I hope you can achieve whatever your dreams are. It was nice talking to you. All right. Well, have a good one. Guess I'll see you around. I don't know. Let's see. I left off over here, and I had not done much with this. Okay, we have. How do we have 23 diamonds too? Okay, well, we need an inserter. So that's the first step, is the inserter, and then it's going to have to store shit in it. But it's not going to be super difficult or complicated in any capacity, because this actually... Bye. This is actually super simple now that I think about it. It's not difficult to understand what I'm doing with this. So I need to grab quartz and the conveyor inserter, and also dump off all of this shit in this box here. Those, actually, let's just process all of that and, yeah, send it through processing. It's like all cheap shit to process. The only thing that's expensive is the, thing that is not redstone. We are still not getting hydrogen peroxide. Come on, man. I need that hydrogen peroxide now. Need that redstone now. Okay, with that, we need rubber. We gotta get these hydraulic pistons put back where they belong. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to talk as much about tactics while I'm thinking about this, but yeah, it's processing all this information. Alright, so we have the rubber. We need iron ingots, which are probably lying around somewhere. And we do have redstone, apparently. Still, that's good. Oh, look at that. A lot of redstone, actually. That's perfect. I need that. And stainless steel. I'd prefer to use stainless steel because it doubles what you can get for your conveyor belts. So, do we have any iron? Do we have any iron? Yes. Quartz? Yes. Perfect. Sticks? Oh, even better. This is all the stuff I'm gonna need to make the... Oh, mechanical pistons. This is a good question, because these are actually one of the more valuable pieces of actually making conveyor belts, right? I don't see any mechanical pistons in there. Ah, there we go. There's the pneumatic pistons. More iron ore. Cool. I'll take that over to processing as well. So we can keep producing that steel. Look at that. I'm finally actually getting close to a crate of steel. It's the first time we are looking at crate of steel. Let's head back over to the new factory while we're at it. This part, we just need the comparator and some other things. So when you set this up, what you do is you take this. This piece has redstone applied to it. So what you can do is use a redstone torch. We're also going to need to make a comparator, but redstone torch and a comparator system to determine when we have 20 of an item. which is kind of mathematical because it's redstone, but we're either going to determine when we have 20 or more than 20, because when we have more than 20, we shoot and send the signal in, so it deposits all 20 inside of the machine. That's the idea. So when it has 20, it will fire into the machine. Boom. That is the first step of how this works. So let's go ahead and make that actually happen. Does this thing also apply to redstone? I wonder if this has a redstone signal capability. So if I have a redstone signal to it, I could just turn it off. That'd be an interesting concept, but we could try that out. We can try that out. So when it's full, then we could try that. I don't think that is a thing that works, but when I put redstone in and I put in some quartz. Oh. What the fuck? Oh, it's because it's set to that? No, okay. When I put this on. Huh. Oh, it's not open, that's why. It needs power so it can actually do things. I forgot that part. Forgot the cables. Somehow I forgot the cables. Cable time. Cables? Asbestos? Cables? Cables? Yes? No? Cables? Where are the cables at? Where did I put the cables at? There's certainly cables here. Yes, good. We'll take those as well. I do need more cables. So once we run out of cables, it's gonna be a sad day. But let's go all the way back. Just like running fast, driving fast. Oh no, we're just running there. Let's go ahead and set up this simple thing. Yeah, just go to here and I can install this shit. Cool. Cable all the way to there. So what this will hopefully allow me to do is open the thing so I can actually figure out what the heck is going on with it. Flip the switch. Try putting in a piece. Ah, you can't. Flip the switch. No. What? What if I try now? It just doesn't have a recipe. It doesn't have a recipe. That's the problem, is that doesn't have a recipe, but sand might. Bet sand has a recipe. Oh, shredder. Okay, cool. Well, let's try out sand. Okay, it does have a recipe. But then if I do this, no. Okay, cool. So we now understand how this thing won't do what I want it to do, but that's okay. Because I can just set up a different setup that will work the same as I can intend for it to work. So if I go over to here, pretty much we're doing this setup the way I said we were going to do it the first time, but until it has 20 items, it cannot turn off the signal inside the thing. So we need to pretty much determine when this has 20 items and then put a redstone cable that connects it back. So we're going to put in 20 gravel or more. I think it goes, I don't know, because you have to put this onto a track of redstone. So we have 1, 2, and it's done. So it only has 1 redstone, and then it's at 20. However, if it has items in there, it's going to be, we need to get to 2, pretty much. So 21, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1, 2. Okay, it's still not there yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you could just divide it and say, oh, well, then you'd have to fucking... This doesn't work. What? Well, there's another way of doing this, and that's to subtract from something that's already got a signal in there. That sounds complicated, but it is complicated. It is going to be very complex. So the idea is that you can technically subtract from a comparator. That's the middle torch in the comparator, is you can set a subtraction to that system. So that means that instead of just going and counting how much items are in the thing, we could just subtract and figure out, oh, when it's not this, then it needs to run. That means, in other words, it's a little more complicated, but does the same shit. So we just need another comparator and some more logic. And my screwdriver, apparently, I left it behind for some fucking reason. Is it in this one? Is it in this one? This one? This one? This one? Oh, it's in this one, right? Ah, there we go. So when I run back, we can just set this up. Okay, it's time to actually do stuff with this. All right, so this gives me my signal out, and this will be like that. Pretty much, this will give you a signal strength from this. So when this has, like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, we need to basically say, hey, when we have 20 in, that's what we need. But this can determine when there's 1 in. And when there's 1 in, it can subtract from a signal here. But we need there to be 2. Well, actually, the reason it's not giving you a signal strength of 2 is simple. Because I don't have enough items in to give me a signal strength of 2. This is an entire box. Exactly. So a signal strength of 2 requires multiple items. Now, what we could do is put in something that can't possibly go inside of this machine. In other words, if I put in a stone slab in here, that probably raised the signal strength. No. But what can raise the signal strength is a screwdriver in the machine. Now it's all about dialing in on what we're actually trying to get with that. So if I make a bunch of stone swords, something I definitely can't put inside of there, that is the way we can do this pretty effectively. This gives you a 1 item stack pretty much. Each of these counts as a stack because it holds the same amount of size as a stack. That's why it cannot stack in Minecraft. It is a stack already. So then if I put in one of those, I have a signal strength of 3. Okay, I already have 2. So now when I'm at 20, we need to get it to a 3 when this is at 20. So now how do I do that? Well, put in other stuff that can't go in. This is 2. That gives you 2 signal strength. So now we need to determine when it's exactly 20 how many items we need. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 12 does it perfectly. So that gives me what I need to do this correctly. So 12 pieces of dirt and 1 stone sword is enough materials to figure this out. Well, look at that. That's how we will have 20 because it makes 32. And that is important. The problem is now that we have to get to 3. To get to 3, I'm going to put in another stone sword. No. That's not enough. Well, we just got it to 2. And so I put the stone sword in. That's going to be 12 minus the stone sword. Then we need to make another sword. 2 more. Let's go with 3 more swords. 3 or 4 more swords, please. Because this is kind of an expensive task. So we go here, we put this in 1, 2, and that determines that it's okay to throw items in. What we need to do is make sure this doesn't accidentally trigger. Okay, so there we go. We're at that far of a distance. But when we add those 12 in... Okay, it's not enough to turn the torch off. When we add in another sword, it will be enough. Then we add the 12. Ah, there we go. And that means now that if I had 20 asbestos blocks in there, they'll all go. And no more than 20 can go in at a time. So now it's about figuring out how we get shit in there fast and quick. Well, hopefully not really, because, I mean, it's pretty much done. It's pretty much done. So that's, like, what I need to do, is that. So now all I have to really figure out is hoppers. We should be able to make a bunch of hoppers, so I'm not worried. Alright, do this. Do this, do this, do this, and make these. Now we have 2 hoppers, and this goes into the machine, like so. Boom. And one other one, boom. This should be enough to allow me to put that entire asbestos crate right over there. So that's what we're going to do. Any asbestos needs to be sent into 1 crate, and we can put it in there. So this crate here is full of asbestos. What is this one full of? A mixture of mixed homogenized asbestos bullshit. More asbestos. Okay, so we're just going to take asbestos and merge it all together. Put it all in 1 crate, right? Apparently I'm not capable of doing so because my inventory is cluttered. What the fuck? I can't even... Oh, I see where it's at. It's far away. But that all goes together into here. Okay, there we go. That's all combined and mixed homogenized asbestos right there. Rolled homogenized steel is the future of armored warfare. That's what they said in World War I or something. I don't know. Go ahead and take this and place this down into this. So now we're gonna make blocks of asbestos. So put in the recipe to make blocks of asbestos. There we go. Then once it makes enough blocks of asbestos, we should see that it sends out some asbestos blocks into the thing. And it is currently not sending because this is quasied. Fuck. Fuck. That's some bullshit right there. I'm saying that's some bullshit right there. Alright, but if it was not quasied, it could actually send... 4. Once it hits 20, it will send it into the machine. 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. It's just going really fucking slow. 9. It might be better to fucking stop with the hopper systems. Because that shit's slow as fuck. Just throw it in by hand, you know what I mean? Never mind, you can't do that either. So just bear with me for 5 seconds while I figure this shit out. Oh, it would appear we need more fucking conveyor belts. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make 2 of these. We're gonna make the first one with the stainless steels, and the second one with those. Alright, that's your 2 different types of conveyors covered in one single segment of video of me saying, we're gonna do this and that. Shit. We're gonna do that and this and this and that. And fuck. It's fucking bullshit. Ugh. Okay, actually, yeah, that works, I guess. Yeah, that will do. That will do, guys. Trust me. This is I think we can set it up right here, and that gives me my ultra compact and pretty looking setup that I so desire. No. Not there. There. Go. Hell yeah, brother. Just putting shit in. Now it needs more extraction though. That's the problem. Is it's not extracting fast enough. And so what I want to do is put in one of these. Silk touch, nice, and then go. So now I have enough to run shit into there. Put it in faster. Hurry. Put it in fast. Start shoveling the shit in there. Nice. Oh, look, it hit 20. Oh, it only put in a few of these? What the fuck is that? Take out one of those. Right, so it hits 20, but it only inserts 5. Only inserts 5 of them. Oh, because it hasn't fully hit 20. Oh my gosh. That's because it needs a pulse extension. So I need to shut this shit down. Okay. There we go. We're just gonna accumulate shit in there, and while that's happening, I'm going to cut this off of its setup. So what needs to happen is when this hits 20, we need a secondary circuit that's like extends off of this pretty much in this direction, which why is the redstone connects to a fucking crate and does this shit? What the fuck? But it's not a solid block, so it can't actually conduct into that. So what needs to happen will be simple. We need to have a block that does a extension of the pulse. So pulse extenders are super important in redstone. Something I don't necessarily know exactly how to make because I don't make them often. They're literally one of the most niche things that I fucking forget all the time. Because you need them for like everything though. And I think they're really easy to make just by doing the same shit over and over and over again. However, what I can tell you is that using a comparator is the simplest. So let's go ahead and try doing some comparator ones. Figure out if we can even do that shit. So the pulse extender goes something like this. What it does is pretty much you just apply a signal into this and see how long it takes to fade away. Nice. Now it's about getting the timing. The more comparators you have in that shit, the faster it is. Now if you take a look at this, as I said, the more comparators, the faster it is, or the slower it is in losing that pulse. So at 4 comparators, we are at something very good. So in other words, if I were to go ahead and build something like that shit over here, off of a repeater, but still supply the system with all, yeah. So once it hits the 20, right, it needs to have a signal that goes into here. Destroy this and destroy that, because that is no longer useful in the setup. Put that in there and these in there as well. So what needs to happen, when it hits 20, we send out that signal, right? So we're going to put a repeater into the setup. The repeater allows you to extend a pulse. Now, you can use... We need to test to make sure and verify and make sure that this shit actually does what it needs to do. Because when you run this shit, you put the pulse in through the comparator for the repeater, it still works. And that means that the signal strength of that is also going to be super high when it comes out. So it will just automatically turn it on. Because it doesn't need to be anything after. The analog system detects it. We can send it into binary mode and it will still run pretty much. It's just getting a signal back to there is the problem. And you could either integrate this and use this piece to kind of, what are the words? To basically not put items in there, but just move the torch, pretty much, is what I mean. Is you move the torch so that way you can actually do the shit correctly. And then you have your pulse extension circuit that goes off of this way. And everything will look pretty nice. But it's really not that nice looking in the long run. This is like the least pretty circuit you could set up. Now it's all about getting the timing down so I can get 20 items to exit the thing at the same time. And then go into the machine. So let's figure out how to do that now, shall we? So if I have 20 blocks of wood planks, right? I have 20 wood planks. Activates the signal, and it should be ready to send. But it's not going to send because this torch, or this lever's here. Now it's sending. And now that it's sending, it's reached 20. No, it's because it's fucking got these in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take those 20 wood planks and put them back in there. As you can see, they don't go in there. Good. Good observation, they don't go in there. So we're going to put, the pulse is gone, 20 of these in there. And it put all 20 in there, apparently. That's good enough, isn't it? That is actually probably what we need. I don't know if that's actually what I want. What I want and need are two different things. I don't know if that's what I need or what I want. It's doing some weird shit that I don't understand for some fucking reason. Now, if we have the actual piece in that machine that does that, the electrode, we'll see what happens when it has the electrode in. If this is enough signal strength to allow this shit to go in. All 20 are in there. Perfect. Which now means it's all down to letting the machine craft. And not hard. It's not hard to make that happen. So pretty much all I have to do is find some way to insert into this piece here, and that is very easy. All I have to do is really figure out how to rotate this piece in and do some things with these pieces. And now that that's all done, we can give it another batch of these redstone blocks, or of these blocks, and throw them in. Oh, yeah, because we have to worry about the extraction period. Pretty much, to get all that shit out of there is painful. Because I made it all into those... Holy crap. God dang it. What the fuck? Instead of melting it like I'm supposed to. Oh, okay, I can just melt it right away. Give me more of these. Fill that thing up. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. This doesn't seem like it's gonna work. Hopefully it realizes that these are not 1 and they're 40 actually. Cool, it's 7 blocks and something ingots. The problem is that if we have this running too fast, it might just cause problems. But that's okay. I like to see how that will play out. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Inserted. Cool. And then it's ready to continue with the next batch. Pulse extended and everything. I don't know exactly why the pulse extension acts the way it is, because that's not how it acted when we were testing it. But what I can tell you is that I don't care, because it is working. It's working as intended. Guys, it works as intended. And it's time to put in these. Because now it's actually locked up this system too. Which is good, because then it can stop crafting at 20 as well. See, now it's only got 24 in there, which means it stops crafting because it's at 24. It's above what it needs to have. Once this is done casting out, we have produced 8 printed silicon so far. I will have to say, this is way too slow of a production of billets for me, because I want like 10,000 of these. So I need to either up the amount of channels and shit, or just up the amount of channels. That's easy. We'll go grab the shit we need for that. And I'll also grab a couple of billets too. Well, I probably could just make a billet. We'll just figure it out once we get there. But I want to have the production super high on that, so that way I have a lot of them going through all at once. Because the more of them I can do, the better. Now, it takes so long, we probably should do like 20 of these. And it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of silicon left inside the bottom of each of them. That's why I'm not doing the strand caster, because these will always be silicon. There's no reason for it not to be silicon in the silicon thing. So the silicon thing should always be silicon. In other words, it don't matter if I use this shit. And as long as I don't use other materials in there, I should be fine. Is this furnace running for me? Turn it on. 2 beats. That was the shortest thunderstorm I think we've ever seen in any existence. Real life or Minecraft life. Lightning storm can range anywhere from 1 lightning bolt to 10,000 lightning bolts, depending on how unlucky you are. What the fuck? That was the shortest thunderstorm in Minecraft history. It rained to piss the sky off or some shit. Industrial. It's like Factorio, but industrial. What? What do you mean? No, this is Industralia. Australia with Industry Edition. Industralia. Give me this, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on the things. Oh wait, don't I need drains? And those need steel, right? Drain. Fuck, if it needs steel, I don't have it. Foundry. God dang it! Ah! But at least we're fixing one of the problems. Because now I can have a total of infinity of these. So I need more of the billets. Okay, I need more of these. And we're gonna build this out so it's like 6 long. So that way I'm having 6 times the production rate. That way I can maximize my production efficiency into 6 times the amount. And also we need to make a billet before we go do anything else. We need a billet. What if we could just do printed silicon straight away? No. Fuck. This is like the easiest way to get it out, because then you don't have to worry about the stupidness that could potentially occur doing it in other ways, so. I'm gonna save on my pneumatic pistons by using hoppers for this. But we're just gonna set up like 3 hoppers this way. And then we'll have it go into the power grid over here. Right there, that's the power grid for this. And then we need a stamp. Cool, and then I need more hoppers. What the fuck? I need a steel plate. Yeah. Okay. Steel plates as well, right? Steel plates. We got steel plates somewhere? Steel plates? Yes, steel and steel plates. Need both. Both of these steel ingots. Do I have iron in these? I thought I had iron in one of these. Could have swore that there's iron in one of these. Stop! Okay. Wow. This is awesome right now. Well, see, the problem I've now ran into is that I now need to move this shit down 1 block. But then we can actually figure out, well, if I can do what I think I just thought of, this might be, like, stupidly useful. Okay, maybe not, but I definitely could just put a conveyor belt right there, like, at the top of it. A conveyor extractor. Oh, I forgot to make the fucking... God damn it. I forgot to make the actual piece that I need. The one piece it's missing is literally every single one of these needs to have a cast in it. I mean, at least we're getting the production up somehow, but still, like, we haven't got the cast for all of them. Give me this shit. What the fuck? Dude, come on. Oh man, I don't think we can do it. Wait. Maybe. No. Well, we could put the actual extractor here. Right? It's extracting. Ah, fuck. It only goes in the bottom? How the fuck am I supposed to work with this thing? Nice. Well, now this is working. I just need to get I can make it here. Yeah, I can make it here. We need like 4 stamps, five stamps, and we're pretty much done with that process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No need for 7. I said 5. 5 stamps is all we need. 20. Those, and we head up to the Dash Anvil, which is on the moon. We need more ferro-uranium. We need to make, like, another ferro-uranium anvil for the next planet we go to, too. Just realized, because... maybe I just gotta keep carrying around an anvil on me. Keep an anvil handy for just the occasion of, oh shit, I need a fucking anvil. Gotta run 5 kilometers to go make some shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? Run back. Run back. There we go. No, fucking bullshit. Why? We could have made it across, but we just couldn't. Yeah, now it's time to actually put in the... oh yeah, we forgot those, right? Well, that's a coincidence. Forgetting all the shit we need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that we have this process automated, we just need to get electrodes to it. So somehow we'll have to come up with a new way of making electrodes. Novel process for electrode production. That is much faster now. I wonder if I have the, no I don't. Soon it's gonna actually fire the thing. So the next step after that is we take some of this asbestos out, we split it from here. So, we're gonna need to put, oh, is this shredding it? Stop fucking shredding my asbestos. Fucking stupid. Bro, how much asbestos has been shredded inside the fucking machine? God dang it. This is so sad. Hurry and make more of those blocks, please. Okay, so what we're gonna do for this is when this returns a signal of full, we're gonna route asbestos out the other side into the process of making the other thing. So we'll need another comparator for this setup. Already at 5 comparators total right now, but we're about to make another one. So congratulations, guys! We need 5 comparators now. Yes. How about that? Absolutely diabolical. 5 comparators. Well, this comparator we're gonna set up. We're gonna use it to read the system and really just read the system. Yeah. Just gonna read that system and take the signal from that, put it into, so when that is full, we need the signal to kind of just, when it hits full, send the signal over to the other thing. Yeah? That makes sense, everybody. Everybody understand. Everybody comprehend. When this signal is full, it needs to send the signal to the next thing. It needs to actually be like this. And that's a switch that will allow one ejector to run while the other one doesn't. So we have an ejector here that's going to get stopped by the signal of this. Boom. Which now means that until there is a certain amount of items that is not in there, it cannot send items to it. So that prevents it from shredding items for no reason. The next goal is to find a way of getting a torch to activate. Which you could put a torch there. Which powers. Or you could put the torch in a different position here. However, the conveyor needs to go beneath it and send items into another crafter over in this direction, which then sends items out this way and then to the next process. So that will make it a little bit simpler, I guess, is to because now this guy is pulling out, right? He's pulling items out, and since we already got enough to produce all of the wafers in a copious quantity. Pretty sure lanthanium are actually the best, from what I remember. Lanthanium are the best that you can get as far as electrodes go, but I don't remember how that actually stacks up, or how that actually adds up in total. I mean, also this now means I can send stuff this way to meet it all in the middle. So when I have that crafter set up, I can just have it all meet in the middle. It's going to be an easy way of doing this. But that is going to be where my crafter is going to go for now. Until I find a better route for it. That is where we're going to put it. And gonna try to do the same thing with this, so that way it doesn't do that either. So no shredder or no shredder on those, pretty much. An inserter here, because this piece actually needs to make we need to make essentially an item. Insulators. We need to make insulators. So that is sounds I mean, it sounds complicated, but it's actually really easy. All I do is just take this and hook it up. Go to here, hook this shit in. Boom. Nice. Now we're gonna drop this. Then I can start making insulators. And you don't need many of these to make a lot. A little goes a long way when it comes to asbestos to insulator recipe. Because now I have over a stack in there and can continue producing that for until this thing runs out. So that's why a little goes a long way. A little goes a long way. And then with this, we need to combine asbestos, copper wires, and everything else together. So we get circuits, or pretty much microchips, which it completes the factory, essentially. In other words, the goal is to complete the factory in this simple process. Now, once this is full, it also will have to cut off the power to itself. So it's probably a good idea to find some way we can send out a signal from this thing to shut off that, which really is limited in our capabilities. However, by rerouting this conveyor in this direction and rerouting that conveyor in the other direction, I can achieve that goal. So now I am inserting my items and can add in another conveyor to tell it to stop if I want to. So I should set up something like this. And at the end of this, we'll have this, which pretty much cuts that thing off as well. So that's the idea, is a secondary shutoff. Do I have more stone? Yes, I do. Good. Because I was really kind of worried for a second there that I might use all my stone, but knew that I probably had more. So we need more comparators too for control circuitry. God dang it. Couldn't it be so easy to... It could be so easy to do this, but... 27 torches. I think we're probably not going to have enough redstone dust now, but we're going to go ahead and save on this. Okay. So, we route a signal from here, so if it's too high, then it will shut this shit off. Or not, because apparently it can't do that like that. Okay, so then it's just going to go above this, and then down to that. Right? That's going to work, isn't it? Yes. So that means when I turn this on with a lever, it should stop outputting. And it failed. But if I do the same exact technique and do it this way, it cuts off. Perfect. That is exactly what I'm looking for when I set up the system like this, is that it works perfectly in any scenario. And now that we have all of that done and everything inserting, we can start adding in the next component of this, which also, believe it or not, is going to need another redstone control circuit setup. So a lot of redstone's going on here, but you're probably wondering, why am I doing it so shittily in the floor? And the answer is that even though this is in the floor, it's going to all be covered in metal grating, and it will look dope as fuck. So this one just shuts off this, so that way if it has too many, it fucking stops. And it doesn't really matter the length, it just matters that it knows to stop when there's a certain number in there. Otherwise, it will keep going, theoretically, forever and cause you some serious problems, okay? Now, with all of that done... What the fuck? Come on, dude. Stop dropping meters on my shit. It didn't destroy anything, did it? Fucking bullshit. Oh my gosh, guys. Fucking bullshit meteorite. Fuck. It's like since I got back, I didn't realize I had a thing on. Because it's supposed to decrease the amount of those. But now I can actually run a conveyor belt that goes between those two points and connects them. That is the final stage of that, because now we are about to combine these circuits, and it is getting a signal strength through it. So as it produces more and more of these wafers, it sends the wafers out into this line, which now leaves us with a final process of needing to get some other shit. Which, this is becoming significantly and more significantly difficult the more lines and things I add on. But, the next one, we need to have a conveyor that goes underneath. This way, I can have yet another redstone line connected to it. Because, holy shit, we need more redstone lines, apparently. This one is for copper wires, though. Now, wires are kind of this substance that you can make in quite a few ways. Stamping them and other methods are always applicable. However, I really don't want to stamp out copper wires. Please tell me I can cast them out as an option. Or you could just press them out if you have ingots. Now, we produce mostly powder at the plant anyway. So if I set up an electronic crucible, it really doesn't change much. Right, we do produce copper powder here. Yes. But very little copper powder is being produced there. So like it's kind of sad. Yeah, but it's fine. We can play with that. So let's see where we produce copper powder at anyway, because in theory, if we are producing copper powder, it's going through one of the many auto crafters that handles copper powder, which it looks like over here. Yes, we do have one that produces copper powder. This setup is so fucking stupid. I fucking hate this shit. What we can do is we can just take out the... Right, there's copper that gets produced in two different places, I think. Ah! What's this? More copper powder, I see. Is there anything going on here that I need to be aware of? No. Okay, well, we have all of this copper powder, so... All of this I'm going to consolidate so we can move it over to there and pretty much start the process of turning copper powder into the other stuff. Either way, we're going to need electricity. It's just which way is the better way of doing it. Whether it's us melting it into wires or us putting it into the next thing. But if we can just melt it straight to wires, you see what I mean? It's might be logistically better to melt it into, well, we could just do a mechanical one of the presses. I have another press. Let's do it the lazy way. Let's just make it with the press. We use a smelter, and I mean, maybe melting it's faster, but at the same time it's gonna just cost more energy. Whereas these machines don't cost energy when they're running. A crucible is gonna constantly consume a little electricity so it can satisfy the amount of heat it wants to have. Whereas a electronic furnace and electronic press combo saves you that hassle of having to turn off a system when it's not got shit in it. And there's no real good way of figuring out if it's got shit in it to begin with. So let's just try to stick with the fundamental aspects and basics of all this. Just use this shit. I know we need to make more of it for the moon, but it's okay. We can... I'm a stupid idiot. I'm a stupid idiot. Guys, I am a stupid idiot. Alright guys, I am pretty dumb. I just made the dumb mistake of all time. And this is my YouTube apology stream. So I'm gonna apologize right now for being so stupid. Okay, enough apologies because we don't apologize, we win. So let's go ahead and where's bricks at? Do we have more bricks? Did I fucking waste all? I fucking wasted all the clay. Huh. Yes, again. Who is stupid? I is stupid. Who am stupid? Me am stupid. We have more clay, don't worry guys. I'm waiting for Gerald to craft. Nice. I'm automating circuits right now. So you can see that we're almost doing something very similar. Except... not really, because the goals are different. I just need 4 of these to finish up. Hurry and finish, please. 4 bricks. Cool. I did this wrong, didn't I? Time to figure out how to make a dash stamp today. Ah, it's not too different. I was thinking I need high-speed steel or some bullshit, but no. It's perfect. Okay, now let's not fuck it up this time, and let's do it the correct way. This way. Wires. So now, I have my wire and forgot my furnace. Well, I almost had my wire and furnace combo meal, so we could set that up at McDonald's microchip factory. Because now instead of, well, it's actually fish and chips. It's not McDonald's anymore. We're making a fish and chip store. TH3 fish and chips. Okay, that sounds dangerous. That sounds like a bad idea. So if I go and set this up. Oh, hey, we also need hoppers. So, missing so many pieces of the puzzle every time I come back here. Missing a new piece. But all I need is a furnace into a hopper into a hopper into electric machine. Cool. Electrical press. It's the press that nobody's heard of. It's like the New York press, but better. covers electricity. So be careful because redstone there, obviously. So when we do this, I would quasi into that, or we could just put it into here. No, I'm gonna keep it simple and safe and not screw shit up with this setup. So while it might be stupid or seem dumb to do this, it makes the most sense to do it this way. So instead of doing like the crucible method as I discussed, it's just going to consume energy constantly. There's no point in doing it that way. Conveyor inserter for this one, and just put in some of those. And then we just need cables to connect everything. Nice, like that. So that way it looks okay and acceptable. Cool, grab some more of the copper dust. So now we are taking copper dust, putting it into this machine. Making it into wires. Which is the final component of making this, is the wire. So now I have my microchips being produced in a constant capacity from simple resources I can obtain at the setup over there. And look at that. It's almost like I know what I'm doing, kind of, sometimes. To make this spaghetti conveyor network work even better, we're gonna have the output of this go through... Fuck! Why didn't I put a piece under that shit? I'm just gonna make everything go under the floor. Because I said that's a good idea. Okay, cool. So now, now that we have that going on, connect a piece right here. Then do that. Which allows me to send it out this side. Which means now I have unlimited production for this. The next step is to start splitting out circuits into the, well, just putting them into a crate, I guess. Because realistically, if I need circuits, I'm just gonna go over to there and make them. I guess next step is to put a building around this thing. But I don't know what I'm gonna do yet for that. I mean, I guess make it look pretty is the next step. Make it, see, if you're gonna build a setup, it's gotta look pretty, at least in my my eyes. It has to be pretty. Okay, apparently I cannot possibly get that to connect anywhere. And then just a piece there. Because we are now producing automatic microchips. This is impressive. This is something I never would have expected to have obtained in any playthrough. You know, we've never actually automated microchips before. This is the first time we've done so. And I think the next thing I want to automate is motors. But we're going to have to do that at a separate ore processing facility somewhere else, maybe. For now, this is going to become what this ore processing facility does mostly. It's going to be mostly this. And then we have enough iron and shit that we could probably just stockpile that somewhere. So that's what it's going to be for. All the steel I'm going to make into these and then these. Because this is going to cover up a lot of the stupid shit that just doesn't look good. Like this redstone. Oh, shit. If I can place it in right there. Oh, yeah, look at that. Covers it up. Doesn't cause any issues in the circuitry. At this time, I don't know if it does or does not, but it fits in and you can see the circuitry underneath it. Makes the floor look 10 billion times better, in my opinion. Makes it 10 times less practical, but 10 times more effective is the terminology I would use. Technically, I could put it on that. I'm not going to do that because that'd be stupid. And since I want to be able to see what's in the floor, kind of, we're going to do this as well. So I can make the floor look pretty. Just give me that, give me that, give me that. Cool. Then I do this. Just cover the whole thing in grading, why not? I do hate this though, because it doesn't actually align very well. It's kind of hard to get it to align, unless you build it straight off of one of these. And then it is not difficult to align, but it is, there we go. Now you can watch the redstone and see the conveyor shooting out wonderful shit onto the line. And can I place one on top of this? Yes, I can. Okay, this makes shit really cool. Oh, fuck. Technically, you could just stack these, right? Like, if I have one here and it's a sandwich. It's a air grate sandwich. A steel grate air sandwich. Alright, we need 2 loaves of steel grate to make this recipe, but you need 2 loaves of steel grate and 1 block of air for this sandwich. Okay, I think we're going a little too far with that one. I think we need to dial it back a little bit. Get back to the basics, you know what I mean? And you can see all the fucking dope-ass control systems we have. They are very dope. Cool. Look at that. Looks good. Yeah, but we need to fill this section in. Oh, so we're out of the... Oh, no, never mind. Why do I have wiring in my inventory? What happened there? What's going on with this? God dang it. Now I gotta put it on a line or something. Okay, we're just gonna jump in here. Gonna throw it in. And that should do the trick. Holy shit. How many microchips do we need? And we have enough copper to keep going for an endless amount of time, so... Insulators are not a problem either. Really, what's going to stop me is going to be these asbestos blocks. Or, actually, the graphite apparently is what's stopping me. However, there's electrodes that are good, and somebody else knows better than I do what those are. So, if you know what those electrodes that are good are, tell me, so I can start using them for this setup, because I don't actually know off the top of my head what they're called, but I know they exist, so it's important that I know that. How many microchips? I think I've crafted 32k so far. Yeah, I've crafted a lot as well. It's just probably not as a lot as you have. To make Gerald at least is different. Gerald needs every single microchip. Dres bedrock ore for silicon. 32k billets. I'm just doing it on Earth because I have the setup on Earth, so. I have all this infrastructure I need on Earth, and then I can go to the moon and do some stuff there. I really haven't progressed much in the space travel. However, we are on the way to the the next planet after we accomplish my goals on the moon. Which isn't very far. It's like, it's not far. I don't have much to do there. So, because we just finished aluminum, and that was a big thing I wanted, was aluminum on the moon. It's a nice setup. I mean, I'll try it out once I get there. I'll be like, oh, hey, we could do this. This is cool. Have you used much of the ROR torches? No, I don't even know what those are. It can help make... Oh, redstone over radio? Oh, yeah, I know exactly what that is, and I've used a few of them. I just don't really use them much in these setups. I prefer to do redstone in, like, this method. I like this method. I do the redstone over radio when it's, like... I don't think a cable can work really well. The cable is, like... If a redstone cable cannot do what I want it to do, then I use the redstone over radio. I actually use it. I think I use it extensively over here because I didn't have much. I haven't had much redstone this playthrough, so yeah, I've used a little bit here. On the moon, I've used it a lot. On the moon, I used it a bunch. I know I've used it in some places. Why the fuck do I have so many different ones? This was just because I was lazy. I'm pretty sure that's why that exists. Hey, there's a bunch of hydrogen peroxide here. It's cool to know. I could use that for something. Hey, we got rubber too now. Oh, look at this dash. Yes, good. Okay, well, we have a... I don't know what's going on here. I just work here. I just work here. I don't know what's going on. What do we have as far as I've used it somewhere. I don't think I've used it on Earth. I don't even know where I've used it. I've used it though. That's right. Okay, let's get back on topic to circuits and what. The next step would be to get gold and take gold to make printed circuit boards, make vacuum tubes, and that as well. Vacuum tubes are not hard. All I would need is to take the sand and shred it. And then I could be making infinite vacuum tubes in addition to what I'm already making. And if we have any aluminum production there, I think we might. I don't think we have the productions I like neodymium or niobium or like stuff like that. But we have the productions I need to make more circuits. That is why the Earth setup's not bad, because you can still make a ton of circuits and things on Earth this way. Almost at a huge quantity. Or well, see, the printed circuit board is the next thing I would need. But we do have what we need to make the stuff for vacuum tubes. Now the thing is that with when you make the printed circuit boards, you need insulators, you need gold. And I don't have gold here, I don't think, because we haven't gotten that far in making gold. We also need to get more of solvent. So I should start making solvent in larger quantities. I'm gonna set up, I think we're gonna go do that. We're gonna go make more solvent, and we're just gonna bring a tank over of solvent. I should have, well, all my large steel tanks are on the moon, so we will just bring barrels of, well, actually, we can't even bring barrels of solvent, can we? Oh my goodness. Oh, and if we make a BAT, it's going to be absolutely the most horrible thing for our power supply. It is not something on our capacity to make that, in our capabilities. It is something we've made a few times. Oh, I was going to make the actual electrodes. And I don't know which ones of these are the best. I guess the Saturnite one. Or, I heard Lanthanium's actually amazing. I guess we'll go with Saturnite. Because I do have some. or don't have some. Which tank is missing the texture? Copper sulfate. Congratulations, it's copper sulfate. Where did I put all my Saturnite at? Because it is a material that is stupidly annoying to make. And this thing won't fucking work because this is what it is. It's the highest tier electrode. It's kind of expensive if I'm being honest. Is it even worth making? Crucible casting. Is it even worth making this? I don't even know. High speed steel. Borax. No, it's just high speed steel and copper plus this. And steam. The steam is the hard part to get. Oh my goodness. We could just set up one of these and run it off of a boiler. Yeah, we're gonna do this. And I'm gonna figure out how to do the other thing. And then we could use a. Do we have anything I could use to dump? This is gonna be stupid as fuck because I don't make this shit. I never make this, but it's gonna look stupid. And do we have kerosene? This gets stupider every second. Every second I come up with something more and more stupid. We could just power it with kerosene. That is the stupidest logic I think that's come into my brain so far. Alright, we're gonna just grab it with that and then so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna place this here. This is gonna be set to low pressure steam. Then I'm gonna use this boiler to supply the high pressure steam needed to conduct the tasks. Oh, there we go. There's my steam and low pressure steam. Can just do it with pipes apparently. So this one will be for steam. Graphite is 10 runs, Lanth 100, dash 500. Saturnite is 1,500. So I should definitely be running Saturnite for these. Just Saturnite's such a pain to make. Well, because I don't make it though. That's the reason it's a pain. Low pressure steam. There we go. Now I just need a source of water for this whole thing. And we've pretty much made the stupidest looking setup for doing this shit. That's probably not going to work, but could actually it will work. It definitely will work. As long as I don't blow anything up, this will work. Yeah, the only good ones are Saturnite and Graphite. Saturnite because it's able to last one, and Graphite is dirt cheap. Oh, Saturnite because it lasts forever. My bad. Yeah, I have Dash on the Moon. I use Dash on the Moon. That's what I do on the moon. We could just do... Oh. Well, shit. What? Well... You only get 10 per each one. I might as well just make a Dash one. Or a Saturnite one. Something better than Graphite, honestly. Plus, once you've made it, you recycle half of the ingots of it. The only thing you lose is the other thing. There's also like 3 different methods for automating graphite. If you find the 2 templates, heating oil to graphite electrodes is super good. This is information I have not had before. I did not even think to automate graphite electrodes before. And you know what's good about that is I can make them from wood. I can set up a wood oil setup to make electrodes. That would not be difficult because you get heating oil straight away from cracking wood oil. So if you do that, it might as well be the same as just setting up automatic graphite. And then you get the wood tar as well. I understand how to do that, I'm pretty sure. You just need oil tar. It's the only product you can't get that way. But you get wood oil, and you can take it and make it into tar. Let me see. You can do it with wood tar, apparently. So you could take wood oil, any surplus wood oil you get from this process, to make that. Split the wood oil into that, into a solidifier, and then coke. If you make petroleum coke from the heating oil, which is cheap, pretty much dirt cheap. Oh, but it gives you coker oil as a byproduct, which you then can turn the coker oil into tar, right? You can turn it into cracked oil and more heating oil, and that cracked oil can be turned into easy. Too easy. Okay, thank you for that advice, because I'm now looking into making that. That will be the next thing we do, is set up automatic graphite production. Never scratch this entire stupid project to make Saturnite, where the fuck we were doing. We're gonna go make an oil setup. So a wood oil setup. This is the moment of all time. This is stupid, probably, but do I still have that coker that's just sitting around doing absolutely nothing? And it just kind of is it's been a blemish on my base for so long now. It's just kind of sitting here doing, yes, the coker is still here. Wonderful. I'm going to take that shit. I'm going to go ahead and, we probably already have one over at the plant anyway, but I'm going to take it with me just in case. So what we're going to do is we're going to disassemble the old wood oil plant because it fucking sucks. And we're going to set up a new one. Or pretty much just move the old one so I can make the new one new. And we might set it up and power it off of a PWR, or we might power it off of something else. I don't know yet really what I'm going to do for it, but awesome. So we're going to come over to here. We're going to go grab that wood oil setup. Well, just start taking pieces of it and moving them over, and then figuring out what we're going to do from there. Really, the oil setup here sucks, and doesn't meet the standards we need it to meet. So, however, it does have a setup right here like this. Charcoal, all of this is not super useful right now. See why it's not running though, because it doesn't have oh shit. Oh shit. I don't have enough space in my inventory for all this. I'm just gonna put it all in here. Just start putting shit in this box and we can bring it over. Oh, okay, that was something I shouldn't have minded. Saplings galore. Alright, so we're gonna start from the end point to the start point, pretty much, is the goal. Start to end, what exactly do I need to make this setup? And that is not actually super complicated. It just comes down to we need a solidifier. Well, yeah, we need a solidifier. We need to basically take wood oil, crack it, and then take the products of that, which I believe are aromatic hydrocarbons. I know are aromatic hydrocarbons and bitumen. Or no, not bitumen, heating oil. That gets you to what I need. The materials I need, which are super simple. From that, we can do all the next things. Alright, we're gonna grab this and we're gonna just take everything with us for now. Because I think we have all of the critical components. This oil setup, this whole bedrock ore setup really needs to be redone. So when I get a chance, that's my next goal, is to come through and say, this shit sucks, let's do it again better. Nice, there's some petroleum coke, which is the first component of it. But it's nice that we can do it from just coking the heating oil to get the actual electrodes. Because then you only need 2 steps, and the less steps you need, the less convoluted shit tends to be. And simplicity is everything in all of the stuff we can possibly accomplish. So, we're gonna head over, we're gonna set up the first phases of getting electrodes. So, here we are going to need coker, fractioning tower, a new solidifier, which we haven't made yet, or just go over there and grab the one that's supposed to be there. But isn't doing anything. Yeah, it's not even here. Okay, it's been moved and isn't doing anything anyway. That oil setup is terrible. That is why we're going to take it down eventually and revamp it, because it really fails to meet the goals that I have for it. And I need to get a bit away from where that wall is. Shift F9. Okay, so this is where the wall would be, is right here. So if I set this up, I should be just a little bit away from that wall, and then I should be able to install it. One of these here. One of these goes here. And then we're just going to set up on some dirt. So this will take heating oil, right? It's heating oil. Where the fuck is my fluid ID? Okay, there it is. Heating oil. It's not something we'll be looking for as my fluid ID, you know? It'd be absolutely shitty. Heating oil, heating oil, heating oil. Or no, this part's not heating oil, but the other part is. This part we actually need to say is coker naphtha. So coker naphtha gets you, nope, coker oil actually, apparently. Yeah, coker oil gets you cracked oil. So cracked oil then becomes our other products. But then we also just combine it with petroleum coke. The shit's already done. Which means that essentially all I have to do is supply this with wood. And that means aromatic hydrocarbons will go into the bottom. Or we could just start it off wood oil to get it kick-started and go from there. Is this coker oil? No, it's heating oil. But that means I can just make this one coker oil. Coker oil. No. Coker oil? Why do I keep thinking it's naphtha? Then all the cracked oil goes into its processing setup over here. And that makes pretty much everything you need. So then we just gotta get the wood oil. And wood oil is not complex either. It's just a cracking tower away. Or if you do radiolysis machine. Radiolysis. I could do it. But can I do it? Do I have Cobalt 60 yet? No, I don't have the Silex. We need to get a Silex too. We need to stay on planet Earth and just do some shit like that for a while. Because our nuclear industry is absolute dog shit. Because all I can do is crack shit. I want to use one of those because it saves me a lot of time and resources. But we're not even that far in the game to do that, apparently. Because I haven't progressed any. It's like, what am I doing? Just not progressing, apparently? That is cool. Just been so focused on the moon and shit. Haven't progressed any. So I guess the trees can stay over there or something, and we can figure out how to pipe them over. Because I don't want to move that shit. This shit can just stay. Other than that, though, this shit's easy. Easy work. Yeah, so we just need to get those. Let's go ahead and... What is the plan for this? Are we gonna just run a... What do we run over there? Do we run it as... This is just gonna be the part that makes the wood oil and then cracks it down. But over there we have... Well, also... We could try out the RTG instead. We don't need to get a silex necessarily. We can just look at RTG. That would be where I would start. We're gonna look at RTG because I want to stop with using all that shit. Because then you need a boiler and you need all that the crazy stuff I don't want to make. Actinium, polonium-210, americium, berkelium, gold, and americium is probably the closest one we are to. The thing is with polonium-210 is that we should probably have it by this point in the game. Cobalt-60 can be made in a variety of methods, I'm pretty sure. It is a product of stuff. Maybe we should just make a silex, right? Then we can just take all that nuclear fallout we can obtain. Do shit with that. Right? I mean, we could do that. Gold 198. It gets you cobalt-60 and strontium, which aren't bad, but they're not the best ones. We could just, it makes sense. Just do the right thing and use the cracking tower. It's just the right thing to do, okay? There's a right thing and there's a wrong thing, and I think the right thing in this case is probably to just, you know, use a cracking tower, you know what I mean? Alright guys, dismantle the old oil industry because it's so fucking stupid here. Take it down. Tear it apart. Oh, I just pulled out a fuck ton of pipes. We're gonna fix this place later anyway. Those pipes, they didn't need to be there. They didn't need to exist. I should be really careful next time because that could have been a lot worse than it was. This setup is kind of just messed up though. It doesn't work properly. Look, it's supposed to do coal oil, and it's not even able to do that because of how I have it set up. It's set up wrong. It could be done so much better, and that's why I want to come back to this so we can figure that out. Figure out what we're doing wrong and what I'm going to need to do better, what I can do better in that setup. So we're going to do Shift F9, F9, F9 twice, please. Thank you. Now if I do this, we're going to just start putting in on the border of everything. Fill in with dirt. But right here goes a catalytic cracking tower. This will take wood oil and do shit with it. So then we can attach this fluid duct of wood oil, or of the other thing, and then another thing for aromatic hydrocarbons, which this will produce when we are cracking wood oil. So now, if I have this, I'm going to set this thing to wood oil, and we're going to see what those products are. Because I know it makes 2 products. That means that we have wood oil, heating oil, and aromatic hydrocarbons. Aromatic hydrocarbons, and then heating oil. Heating oil being the big key component of this is going to go into there. It's then going to get processed. We're going to have coker oil. Then we're going to need to do some shit to dispose of the coker oil, or the cracked oil. And that cracked oil is going to go and do shit, and it's going to be disposed of. And it's going to become tar, and then we can combine the tar and coal coke that we produce to make more circuit boards. Or not circuit boards, but to make electrodes, which is why I'm doing it this way. Because all we need to do now is find a good supply of wood for this thing. And also, sawdust is the primary component of that. Well, yeah, pretty much all that's left is that I set up mirrors and then start chucking wood into it, either via an automatic process or just use my own hands, and then we supply the wood to it. We should definitely automate it, but we could do it the other way. And then any auxiliary components of this setup are just going to be on this side. So auxiliary being the steam setup that allows us to run steam through this. And the exhaust setup. Right here, exhaust. Then if I go to my crate, where the fuck is my crate at anyway? Right here. Grab out this. We're gonna need to start setting this thing up too. And this thing. Because now that all makes the stuff for this first part of the process. And of course, obviously, you could run this off of aromatic hydrocarbons, which we will be producing in abundance. If anything from the prior setup is to be believed, we produce these in abundance. And if we have that here, we might as well set up another one too. Might as well. We probably have a lot of trees growing in there. I'm guessing we have a lot of trees in there, but we could totally take those and saw them down at a sawmill. We need to make a new sawmill that works better than this. We could go to the moon and grab 10,000 solar panels again and bring them back to Earth to make a solar-powered electrical sawmill of some kind. That would be really stupid, but it would work. I think we could definitely pull that off and make this whole thing electrical. Because then we have aromatic hydrocarbons. But that's extra. We don't need those. Hopefully we can produce more than enough aromatic hydrocarbons we can dispose of them constantly, which is the goal. To dispose of aromatic hydrocarbons in a consistent amount. There is a water barrel somewhere in this setup I can borrow. I don't know where that is at. It's right here. Cool. That will be what I'm going to dump into this thing so we can get it to run. And then all I have to do is set up this. Some mirrors. And hook those all together. I hate having low pressure steam pipes, but in this scenario I'm gonna just have one just in case. So I guess place this down and output into there. It only stores 100, which is all it needs reasonably, so. Alright, that leaves us with one final step of putting wood and shit in the machine. However, this is not done just by throwing in logs. You could do it by throwing in logs if you're really not trying to get the most out of your products. What you do usually is have a sawmill that saws everything down into sawdust. That is how you can effectively get briquettes of wood, and that makes a lot more wood oil that way because you're making briquettes of it, which is even better, and you're getting like 32 pieces per log. So like you could do it manually for sure, or you could automate it and get so much that you can't even use all of that. Like I have so much in my setup right now that I'm not even going to be able to use all of this. However, this produces charcoal too as a byproduct, so if you need charcoal, that is what you get from this. The charcoal is probably mostly useless in 90% of cases. However, if you needed charcoal, this would be a way of getting it. And infinite electrodes, but that part's done. We just need to apply some stuff here. Wood oil. And put in some fuel, which we could put in charcoal and that will run perfectly. So now I have charcoal here. We're going to put that in. We're also going to set up a, well, we don't have a hopper on me, so I can't actually set it up. Oh, I do have a hopper on me. Cool, because I'll set this shit up like so. Now, if I want it to be self-sustaining, I could have an output on here that outputs and inputs into a hopper, which means it's self-sustaining on its own wood oil production. That is a little bit above what I did previously, where I didn't even have that. The problem is that we're about to destroy the entire planet of trees. So there's going to be no trees left after I'm done. However, the good news is that we're about to produce more electrodes than I could even imagine. Somebody gave me the keys to the car and let me run with it. Holy shit. Because now this is actually going to resupply itself as well. And that's going to be a great way of getting soot if you need soot. Because over here we actually have an oil setup that is meant to run and produce soot. However, this way will be even more effective at producing soot. So if we had an ash pit setup, we could actually run this even better. Which I guess that should be my next goal, is to set up an ash pit so we can collect on that soot production that we're going to be missing out on. Like, this would be a great way to produce soot. You could just keep burning charcoal forever. It is just self-sustaining itself, isn't it? Is it actually? It's supplying more than it needs. It is supplying more than it needs. God dang it. Thought it wasn't supplying more than it needs. It is always going to go to the bottom hopper if you stack hoppers, but we could figure out ways to do it differently. Hopper mathematics to figure out how to split it up. Because if we produce too much of this, we're going to obviously have too much of it. But we're at the capacity of wood oil, and I also need to make a wrench, or grab one. Or grab one. Which we have one at the... Somewhere in my storage pile, we have it. I think the reactor's out of fuel. Means I need to refuel it. Okay. Cool, we'll run over there and refuel it in a second. Be over there in a jiff. Jiff peanut butter. Ugh. It's not running anymore? What the fuck? Give me this shit. Still producing energy. You know, I like that on Earth we produce so much energy that we don't have to worry. On the moon, we don't do that. On the moon, we barely produce any energy. There we go. That's looking nice and smoggy. Nice and steamy over there. Looks like we're doing some fucking industry now. Industry shit. Industrial Australia, bro. And the other thing is that that thing produces steam as well, or produces exhaust as well. That means any exhaust I'm producing from that is also going to get taken and made into shit. So if you needed soot, this is like a decent way of doing it, but you also make fine soot via the other methods. Which was important for the ICF, was you needed fine soot in huge quantities, or like whatever stupid bullshit that was in huge quantities. Something that I never valued in previous playthroughs was that you need to have something like this set up to get you that fine suit and shit. If I died right now, I'd respawn on the moon, by the way, because I haven't set my spawn on Earth in like forever. And since it's not 1.13, there's no phantoms to stop me from not sleeping, so. That is the beautiful fact of this being not 1.13. So thank Jesus they have not invented backporting updates or something like that. Let's run over and figure out what the fuck we're doing. You see, this setup is now running, which is what it's supposed to do. And since it's now running, this guy is now starting to produce heat. Yes, no, maybe so. Turn it on. Is it set to the correct thing? Because I don't actually remember doing that. You see, I forget steps in everything I do. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Yeah, it is now trying to... It's not even trying to move it in there. Hold on, turn it off, turn it on again. What the fuck? Who is stupid? I is stupid. Who am smart? I am not. God dang it. It almost got it correct, but then I did that shit. And if we ran the stuff back into this, it would probably be a stupid idea, because running all of your running your stuff back into this guy is like, if you run that, then you're probably going to use a lot of energy, and I don't want that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Okay, so we need to have, I guess, conveyor sorters, and then we can set up a sawmill setup off of this. Now that we have that, we're making cracked oil too. Cracked oil and coker oil, in addition to the petroleum coke we're getting as a byproduct. Now that petroleum coke is the critical component inside of making something. Making the electrodes needs the coke. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and make a solidifier, or find where that other solidifier somehow has ended up becoming used. I think we're just going to make a new one. Because it's currently, the other solidifier currently just takes reformic gas and turns it into... It's kind of a permanent fixture now, isn't it? What's it? It takes aromatic hydrocarbons and wastes them. Yeah. We don't need that. We don't need that anymore, and it's kind of not something I need. So we're just going to run over and drop this into the setup. I'm not going to bother making a new one for that, because this one belongs to the old setup anyway. Nice. But then we're going to be producing even more circuits. Even more circuits. How many circuits do I even fucking need? Like 5 billion? More circuits, guys. More circuits. So cracked oil can go into this guy. Now we're going to do that. We're going to pile the cracked oil in there. And I don't believe it takes too much to do that. What I do know is that now that that's done, all I have to do is connect a cable and it will run. So if I can just get a cable that connects all the way over to this way, we are pretty much golden. The question is, do I have the cable supplies to do it? And I believe I should. But just because you believe something doesn't mean it's actually true. And if you say you believe, cool. Now it's making cracked oil tar. And with that I can send... Oh, wait. You know what I'm missing? Is that this shit's in here. Well, now I can send all the stuff to go do things. I'm gonna need that soon anyway, too. That's gonna need power as well. This goes into here. Or, actually, it makes the most sense to send it in through the bottom. Then what we do is we take out from there and we put energy into a crafter here. Do I even have another? I don't have another. How the heck do I not have more? Because this setup's kind of bogged down. Yeah, we just will take from here. We're gonna put into a system here. Yeah. No, I know how to do it right there. Boom. No, actually, I could do it even better than that. If I'm smart about this, I could just do it like this. Literally, the simplest way of setting that up is to do it like that. We're gonna need a crafting table, so okay, let's not waste all that on making hoppers. But this saves you, like, the more hoppers you use, the slower things are, but the less likely you are to lose items. Because they can only go into one item, which is whatever you put the hopper into. And they can't flow out of those conveyors onto, or into the shredder, or like into like different places where they are not going to serve you any purpose. If they go to be shredded, it's useless, and if they go to be, in some cases, it's useless. But the shredder is useful for some things. Some things I don't want a lot of. Some things I don't need. So that is why I like that they added a shredder to those, because sometimes you end up spitting out so much random garbage inside of those machines. Now let's see about motors and vacuum tubes. I need 2 of each. 2 motors and 2 vacuum tubes, please. Then I'm able to make this here. On this crafting table, I can go ahead and surround it in 4 of these. Go ahead and put in the 2 motors and 2 vacuum tubes. And this part makes everything happen. So when you do this, what you are going to do is make electrodes, which is the thing I'm making this entirely to do. To make and supply electrodes to the new setup. And it's already done. The electrode production is on the way. And I just gotta put that there. And this here. And this here. And if I really want to make things look nice, do this. And this. This allows everything to flow. Then we just need to add in a input for the coke. That is not hard either. So coke can just go from here, flow right into this machine through the wall. Now it's all done. Every single part of that setup is completed. We now have supplies going into this machine to allow it to make what it needs to make. So we're going to set up 2 of these into here. We have 4 cracked oil tar that can go into here. And then we're making electrodes. Again, this is a time where it comes in handy to know a little redstone, so that way there's no potential for shit to get destroyed inside of your machines, because that is something we want to avoid. So because this way, okay, there we go. We've just done a process. A batch of this shit is done. Each of those can do 10 batches. So now we have a very cheap method of continuously producing electrodes. All that's left to do is get a way of producing wood to supply it with an infinite quantity of electrodes. Things are getting a little out of hand now. Things are getting a little bit insane. Or the words. Now, from this, I'm going to need to set up all of the basic essentials to get this done. And then we can plug that into a cable eventually. Just not right now because I don't have any cables on me that will look good. So we're not going to cut corners and use cables that look like shit. We're just going to continue with the mission and see how well we are able to produce circuits. Because this thing should be set to not do that. And I believe we're currently producing circuits in a copious quantity. Oh, is this crate empty actually? Yes, it is. Cool. So I'm going to take this crate, I'm going to use this to store all my circuits in it. And then we're going to sleep. And then next stream, I'm going to move the wood oil setup completely, so we can fully produce circuits. Then we are going to work on this place and figure out what the fuck is wrong with this setup and how I can get it to produce the chef's kiss ratio of components that you need to make circuits. That means copper, asbestos, and that would pretty much copper, asbestos. That's pretty much as much as I need. Everything else is made from asbestos and copper. Like the circuit itself is just asbestos and copper right now. It's assembling billions. Oh, hey, there's a bunch of these in here. I didn't notice that part. Oops. I'm gonna just put these in here because you don't need much to make insulators. And yeah, we don't need much of this. Really, we're gonna be producing insulators. We're not gonna need that. I didn't ratio out what I needed to ratio out on those, though. See, with this thing, it has a ratio system in it, so it only hits 21, and then it pulse extends, and then fires at the end of the machine until this thing casts out. Once this thing hits 0, it will do the next batch. And that's how it runs. It only runs one batch at a time, and it does 20 in each batch. So that means once this is going, you'll see that it puts all of this in here. Then the next batch is loaded. And it can't fire until till it drains out. So like, I didn't need to set all of this up so fancily, but I did anyway. So kind of makes things a little interesting, I guess you could say. This thing has got 9 copper left until it is done. Copper's the limiting factor here. It's the thing I need the most of. If I could get more copper, that'd be absolutely astounding. Okay, here we go. Next batch. So it's going to craft exactly 20, which it's already appeared to have done. Alright, well, once we have all of that, let's see how this guy's doing. He's making a ton of those, probably. Yeah, he's already made 4 more. And the thing is that you don't want to have this kind of thing happen. So you want to shut off that circuit over there. So that way, if there is any electrodes in there, you just shut off the circuit and cut power. The reason is that you should only have 1 electrode in the machine at a time. It only needs to have 3 in this thing. So if there's an electrode in here, I will stop sending them out from here. This way I don't accidentally shred any of them. Each electrode has 10 usages, and we can produce them from just wood. This is literally just wood. This setup uses only wood to accomplish the task of producing electrodes. So, let's see. What are we looking at as far as heating oil goes? Aromatic hydrocarbons were good. I mean, we should be good on everything. Oh, and right, with the actual, what do you call them? You can't actually run those off of just aromatic hydrocarbons, because they're going to produce so much fuel with those aromatic hydrocarbons that's going to cause the saw blade to go flying. So that's another thing to know, is that we can't just run sawmills off of the aromatic hydrocarbon products we produce. So all that's left is, I guess, just watching this accumulate circuits or microchips, which, I mean, these have usages. Smart grenades and apparently an atomic clock. I don't know what that does. Space MIDI environment suit. Laboratory grade pipette. Cape. But we have a lot of tasks coming up. So we have a lot of stuff in those tasks that we need to start looking at. Mainly, the circuits are going to be the big piece of everything we do in the future. A lot of this is going to be circuits. So that's why I need circuits. Because look at this. 16 microchips to make 1 versatile circuit board. If we need more circuit boards like that, we need to have microchips. And I already have enough to make 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, and a little bit more. So I have 56 versatile chipsets of capabilities at this time. And that's just from wood oil. Wood oil and a setup like that. The next step, I think, is to establish a petrochemical setup that I can run using a fracking tower and set it up nearby this so that I may produce more solvent, because we currently can't keep up with solvent. Solvent just holds us back, really. It's kind of a limiting ingredient that we don't have production for over here. So we need to start dealing with that. It's a problem that needs to be eliminated. So that is my next goal, is to set up a method of producing unlimited quantities of that. And then we can take the heating oil from that and just send it to here as well. Because all the heating oil, we could just turn it all into electrodes, and that's where it would be great at. It'd be great for making electrodes. And the fuels we would produce could also be used to power those sawmills. But I actually wouldn't need to have the sawmills if we're going to do a bedrock oil setup here. If we do that, it's going to change everything. But I think that's enough for today, because we just produced something I didn't think I'd be able to produce yesterday. The whole setup is complete. and ready to go for making more circuits in future episodes. It will become a cornerstone of our industry to have this thing running. And next episodes, we're looking at moving that, figuring out what's going on there that's causing me conundrums, and how to make that work even better.